today I've woken up and I feel tired. I feel really bad, right? There's a good chance that I've influenced the way that I'm going to feel for the rest of the day. But if I wake up first thing in the morning and I say, today is going to be a fantastic day, let's go, let's attack it. Everything that I saw before happened in that game. So I left that stadium as the best player on that pitch, which was fantastic. It was beautiful. But what happened after that? A lot of doubt. I started performing badly because there was that expectation, and I believed that I was now Andrew Hogg, who couldn't make mistakes, right? I couldn't make mistakes. I had to be perfect every time. And trying to play for perfection is a performance killer. Am I just a football player? Am I just good to play football? So there was a lot of that going on in my mind. And then I said, okay, I have a responsibility for, my family. And okay, I'm playing football right now, so I can sustain myself, but there's a lot of free time. So can I get back, can I go and study? Can I maybe get into psychology?
Jiena Klera Ġusordwi, naħdem fuq it-televiżjoni u anke fil-medja soċjali. Passjoni kbira l-fitness u dak kollu li jista' jgħinna biex inħossuna tajbin mentalment u fiżikament. Dak kollu li nitgħallem, nirriċerka u nistaqsi ser inkun qed niddiskutih ma' professjonisti u nies b'esperjenzi li ser jagħtuna għodda li nistgħu nużaw biex ngħixu ħajjitna bl-aħjar mod possibbli. Podcast ieħor nilqakom magħna illum għandna mistieden ieħor interessanti ħafna. Andrew Hogg, ex-goalkeeper nazzjonali u internazzjonali wara 20 sena, huwa mental performance coach u jaħdem mal-Malta Football Association u r-rwol tiegħu li jipprepara liż-żgħażagħ mentalment għal waqt il-logħob u anke barra għal ħajjithom. Iddeċida li jaqbad din il-karriera minħabba li jemmen li hemm bżonn gwida l-atleti li qed jitilgħu biex ikunu preparati mentalment. Andrew, thanks ħafna li ġejt, vera tnu pjaċir li l-qajt l-istedina tagħna. Jien insegwi ħafna dak li tipposti inti u dak li tagħmel, vera nemmen f'dak li tagħmel għax illum qed ngħixu f'ħajja kompetittiva. Allura li tkun ippreparat mentalment u inti propju ħadd dan ix-xogħol. Imma nixtieq nibda propju mill-bidu. Għal min ma jaf x'inhu mental performance coach.
Okay, so number one, thank you for having me. If you don't mind, I'm going to speak in English. Why?
Okay.
Because I find it's a lot more easier for me to express myself.
No problem.
So, mental performance coach. As you mentioned, I work with the MFA. My job over there is to help the athletes through the power of their mind achieve peak performance. Right? Now, that could be helping them outside the sport. That could be helping them in their daily lives. That could mean helping them on the pitch, in training, before games, during games, right? Different techniques, controlling their breathing, achieving a sense of levelness, and stuff like that.
Inti kellek mental performance coach meta kont tilab il-futbol?
When I speak to my athletes, I always tell them how much I believe that my performance or my career would have been better if I had this kind of guidance. I believe even simple things like my relationship to error, right? My relationships to mistakes. For me, they were embarrassing. There were things that used to take a ridiculously heavy toll on me. They used to put a sense of embarrassment onto me. So I'd make a mistake, an error, a loss, whatever it may be, and I'd spend a week in a kind of sheepish kind of way, right? Instead of having that intelligent mindset where I could I could say, okay, I'm an intelligent athlete, right? I've made this mistake. Wow. Now let's build on it. Okay, what went wrong? Write it down. Make a plan, and go and attack the right way. And no, that used to be something that used to be a stumbling block for me.
U kif kont tikkopja magħhom l-affarijiet? Tiftakar?
Well, back then I used to struggle, and I used to wait till the next game, and hopefully it would turn out right. Yeah, of course, to a certain extent, you build a mental resilience, right? But it's a mental resilience that comes by default. It's not one that I am. That my focus is on. I'm not consciously building it, right? It's something that kind of falls into place. Now, if it were a structure, if I had a mental skills framework, which I believe that every single athlete, be it in football, be it whatever, should have, right? Because this mental skills framework, sometimes footballers, athletes, they go and play and they get into a state of flow, which is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I've been there and a lot of. But what happens when you don't manage to enter that state of flow? What happens then, right? Mm-hmm. And at this, I mean, kind of high levels of career, it's not enough to enter a competitive arena and just hope that, hey, we're going to get into this state of flow. It just doesn't work like that. So you have to have a backup. You have to have a plan, a structure.
Fil-fatt, nixtieq nistaqsik di għal binet isegwina, aħna żgur ħajsegwu ħafna nies li labu futbol, basketball, whichever sport ikun. Taħseb li kulħadd ikollu inti titwilet b'konfidenza naturali, jew kulħadd jekk isma' jkollu setback ħajġielet magħha, imma forsi kif nirreaġixxu għaliha hija differenza.
Okay, so different people, different upbringings, right? Different levels of resilience, for sure. But no, I don't believe at all that you're born with confidence. I believe that confidence is just like a skill or a muscle. It's something that you need to train every single day. I wasn't always a confident human being, right? I'm not necessarily a confident human being right now, but it's something that I work on every single day. To be able to leave the house, to be able to enter an arena, a competitive arena, and say, okay, I've done everything that I possibly can to put myself in the best place I can possibly be in this moment.
Ma dik hija il-mistoqsija li ġejja li tħalt li għalija eżatt. Mela, jiena nista' nipprepara lil nnifsi, jiena fejja ngħidu fil-każ tagħkom tal-futbol. Niġġel tanta imma nsegwi. U nibda ngħidara bħalissa pereżempju jekk wieħed ħajati penalty pereżempju, nimmaġina t-tensjoni kbira. Inti tista' taħdem għaliha biex imbagħad dakinhar tiġġieled man-nervi tiegħek taħdem għaliha gradually?
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, there are different techniques, and this is going back to the mental skills framework, you know. I mean, the thing that the picture that comes into my mind when we talk about a penalty, I think about Roberto Baggio in the 1994 World Cup.
Jiena segwejt l-istorja tiegħu kollha dik għax vera affaxxinatni, dispjaċini għalih għax imbagħad apparently bata ħafna wara.
Rajt it ta' Netflix, jew?
Le, rajt ħafna diversi fuq, amma issa bniedem bħal dak pereżempju jinnaf kien jagħmel dan it-tip ta' mhux għax falla ta' ngħid għax wara bata ħafna.
No, I mean, qed nitkellmu 1994. I very much doubt that in 1994 there were these kind of thought processes, but that was very much surely a breakdown in skill under pressure, right? And today, I mean, how would I train a player to be able to deal with that kind of situation? Obviously, there's something called exposure therapy, right? Trying to recreate the same kind of environment, situation. We're talking about visualization. We're talking about breathing techniques. People underestimate the importance of breathing techniques. Not too long ago, I had to stand up in front of a group of people. I'm not in a sporting arena. It's something that happens, you know. Okay. And I had to apply the same kind of techniques to get myself into a well-functioning state.
Ħanlaba ftit tal-avukat ta' xitan ftit, insomma, ilu konna naraw il-World Cup u kien hemm din il-logħba tal-Kanada. U kien hemm Davis kien ħajati penalty u kien qegħdin bil-qeda u t-tifel żgħar qalli ara ħajfallih ma'. U jiena tlu li tajċek tipo, imma tant kien hemm pressure dak il-ħin. Allura l-mistoqsija tiegħi hija bniedem li nimmaġina li dan huwa kowċjat, inti xorta dak il-ħin jista' jkollok il-mument li tajt isma' ħajrnexxieli jew le. U jiena l-biża tiegħi taf x'inhi li jekk f'moħħok deep down tgħid mhux ħajrnexxieli ma jirnexxilekx. So there are skills li inti tista' taħdem fuqhom biex tiġġieled dak id-dubju.
So in that moment we're talking about automatic negative thoughts, right? That are pervasive, not obviously uncontrollable. They're irrational, of course. How to deal with them? There are a number of ways. One of the ways is positive self-talk, right? How do we How do we manage that, right? And I believe a lot in preparation, right? So if we're talking about positive self-talk, prepare for it. Because when you're in the heat of the battle and everything's at 100 miles per hour and you're under pressure, right? If you have your positive self-talk ready, then you don't need to go into your working memory that is already being totally absorbed to look for the positives. So take some time at home, write things down, you know, go into the game and be prepared.
Training, huwa validu dan it-tip ta' training daqskemm titrejnja l-ġismek biex jagħmel performance tajba.
Right now in the world of sports, I mean, like, even at the National Association, our sports science our sports science department is amazing. Amazing. The work that they do is fantastic. Overseas, it's going to be super as well. The athlete, physically, there are going to be small differences. But what I truly believe is that the edge is from your mentality. For sure.
Tagħmel differenza. Tkellimna fuq konfidenza.
Sure.
Kif għadna persuna tkun konfidenti u persuna ma tkunx. Aw minnhom jidru li jkunu konfidenti estremi. Il-konfidenza hija tajba li xi ħadd ikollu daqshekk konfidenza fija innifsu.
Okay, so confidence in sports is essential, right? If we talk overconfidence, sometimes I hear a discussion of overconfidence. I'm not sure where I lie on that. Some people, I mean, I truly believe in, okay, let's say the law of attraction, maybe, can we bring that into it?
Yeah.
Okay, law of attraction, okay? Fake it until you make it. Do I believe in it? Absolutely, I believe in it. Because the mind-body connection, right?
Process.
The way that we portray ourselves, the way that we put ourselves out there, influences the way we think. It's very simply. If we had to say, if we had to say every day, I get out of bed, right, first thing in the morning, and I say, today I've woken up and I feel tired. I feel really bad, right? There's a good chance that I've influenced the way that I'm going to feel for the rest of the day.
It's true.
But if I wake up first thing in the morning and I say, today is going to be a fantastic day, let's go, let's attack it. I'm up and I'm with energy. Yeah. If I wake up before a game and I say, today I feel good, today I feel the confidence, right? I'm going to influence myself already. And then in comparison to me saying, oh my God, I hope today is not going to be a horrible day, right? It's approach versus avoidance. It's me. So then we can talk about challenge state against versus threat state, and it's all based in the way that you speak to yourself. If I before a game say, as a goalkeeper, oh my God, I hope I don't make mistakes today, there's a good chance that I'm going to go into that game playing to avoid something instead of playing to my full potential. But what if I go into a game telling myself, what if I could be the man of the match today? I've already changed the whole dynamic of the way I'm thinking. I've gone from a defensive kind of stance to, okay, let's see what can happen. What's going to happen in the future? What's going to happen by the end of this game? I have no idea. But I've got a big smile on my face and I'm excited to find out. Like that's a totally different way of thinking.
Vera interessanti li qed tajt, u vera tnuħu pjaċir li qed tajda. Għandi żewġ punti fuq għadi. Number one, darba minnhom di mhux għal footballers u nies li jilagħbu professjonali, ma nies li jkunu ħajamlu competitions bħalma nagħmlu aħna pereżempju xi ħaġa li biex ma titfax ħafna pressure fuqek innifsek u bdejt nisma' dawn il-podcast biex innaħħi dawk in-nerves qabel competition. Is-sajd li taqbilx ma ħajwlew kien hemm insomma din u qalet min flok ħammuru ħanitlefon, għalet, ħanajt din il-frazi, let me see what I can get away with today.
Okay, I like it, it's interesting.
U naħejt mill-ewel, il-pressure kollu tajlek fuq ħadmet. Xaħġu ħarajja, jina kelli vizzju per eżempju, I'll try my best. U xaħat kien għalli, you won't try, you will do.
Okay.
U titfa dik ġo moħħok biex inti tajt isma' jien ħanamel performance tajba. Dan il-podcast ma kienx ikun possibbli mingħajr Love GI. Hobbs Love GI, l-aktar ħobża bnina fi gżiritna, isiba biss fil-ħwienet tal-Maypole. Team Sport, il-post fejn isib l-aqwa brand sportivi bħal Diadora u Under Armour. U l-aqwa ditti ta' żraben, sukoni u ħoka fost oħrajn. Isibuhom liklin u birkirkara. Hypro, prodotti mammolin bi proteina biżżejjed biex tikkumplimenta d-dieta tiegħek ta' kuljum u li ser jgħinuk fit-training li tagħmel biex tgħix ħajja aktar b'saħħitha. Gulon, gallettini bla zokkor b'toma bnina. Natru, ħalib plant-based b'ingredjenti naturali biss mingħajr zokkor miżjud. Fior di Vita, għal varjetà kbira ta' ġobnijiet. Inti kont tilab f'tim. Illum il-ġurnata tikkompeti waħdek. X'tippreferi inti bħala Andrew? Kieku kelli nsaqsik x'l-aħjar, jiena naf, jiena safrejna salux.
What's the best, I can't tell you.
Mhux best, jew inkella l-iktar li titfament il-pressure fuqek li tkun f'tim jew waħdek.
Meta nkun f'tim. Keep in mind I was a goalkeeper as well. So the responsibility was on me. And that is for me, it's a great place to be in for what I'm doing today, because there was a lot of pressure, you know, and especially when you build up a certain name and you have to deal with that expectation every single game. I'll give you an example. A lot of people know me for a game that I played against England in Wembley Stadium. And keep in mind, I would never tell anyone not to go and achieve their dreams. Absolutely not. All right? And for me, it was fantastic. I dreamt about that. I visualized it, law of attraction, and everything that I saw before happened. Right? Everything that I saw before happened in that game. So I left that stadium as the best player on that pitch, which was fantastic. It was beautiful. But what happened after that? So it was a blessing, but at the same time, it was a bit of a curse as well, because after that, the expectation rose so high, right? And even the expectation of myself, so the expectation of the public and the expectation of myself, right? It was so high that I couldn't recreate those moments again. Back then, I was playing for Hibernians, right? And I was back to playing in stadiums, maybe with not so many people in the stadium, right? There were 83,000 that day. And then you come back and you're playing in front of 400 or 500 people, right? I couldn't recreate those feelings, that situation again. So I started to doubt myself a lot. I started to panic. Okay, what's happening now? Like, am I ever going to feel that again? A lot of doubt. I started performing badly because there was that expectation, and I believed that I was now Andrew Hogg, who couldn't make mistakes, right? I couldn't make mistakes. I had to be perfect every time. And trying to play for perfection is a performance killer, like we mentioned. Instead of thinking, oh my gosh, like I have to be perfect and all that, why can't I go with the mindset of, I've worked so hard until this point, I believe in myself, let me go and let's see. And it's beautiful to be able to go out and see like that. And when you can go out and play like that, there's a better chance that you're going to get into a state of flow and things are going to happen with true, real engagement. So after that day of Wembley Stadium, things started to break down for me slowly. And then I got into psychology. My sister's a psychologist. She helped me out. I speak as well with Adele Muscat, and she's fantastic as well. What was the issue? The issue was that my belief in my self-worth wasn't where it should have been. Back then, I was just a football player. And okay, that happened. It was fantastic. But then after, what was I? I was Andrew Hogg, who was struggling to recreate a situation. Today, I'm in a different situation. Today, I've realized that I'm more than a football player, that my purpose in life isn't just to kick a ball, that it's much greater. I'm there to help people. I'm there to make people smile. You know, discussion about self-worth for me is huge.
Kulħadd jgħaddi minnhom dawn l-affarijiet. Isa inti għandek waves.
Yeah.
Maħna rridu nsibu l-modi ta' kif, irridu nsibu coping skills, naħseb li meta tkun in your lows, you get back up, obviously. U inti tagħmel dan ix-xogħol biex tgħin u tigwida l-ħaddieħor.
If I can interrupt, I really guide all the young athletes now to have a second identity. And when I say second identity, I mean they are so first they are human beings that play football, right? But I guide them to do something else as well.
Qed Ettolqod dak kollu li vera jinteressani u vera tajba di tal-identità hija tajba ħafna li aħna ma nkunux xi ħaġa waħda biss għax jekk taqa' dik. Inti tkun u naħseb dak iż-żmien forsi meta kontu tilagħbu intom kienet hekk.
So the idea was, this if you're a professional footballer, you're just a professional footballer. So you go to train. I used to play in Greece, I used to play in Cyprus, I used to play in Italy. And because the thinking was, okay, you're a professional footballer. So I go to training at 11 o'clock. I finish at 1, I go home, I have lunch, and then what? Then what do I do? Luckily in Greece, I had young kids and there was a time. But before that, I wasted so much time. Why couldn't I have expanded on I don't know, gone into another hobby or university? I don't know. There was the time. So I look back and I say, wow, I wasted a lot of time.
When did you start studying? Ġifieri inti wara li spiċċajt il-futbol?
No. When we came back from Greece, I had a bit of an identity crisis. Mm-hmm. 2 very young children, one was 4 months, the other one was 1 year and 6. I was conscious that, am I just a football player? Am I just good to play football? So there was a lot of that going on in my mind. Mm-hmm. And then I said, okay, I have a responsibility for, my family, and okay, I'm playing football right now, so I can sustain myself, but there's a lot of free time. So can I get back, can I go and study? Can I maybe get into psychology? My sister was a psychologist, she guided me a lot. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I was never very good at school. As if I was a horrible student. I went, poverini my parents. I used to go to a private school. They used to spend a lot of money on me, but my mind was always in the clouds on football. So okay, what's the goal here? Let's see where we can go with this. Okay, so I need to get into university as a mature student. What does that entail? Doing a biology intermediate. Okay, fantastic. But a biology intermediate, seriously? Okay. Very simply, go onto Facebook. I need a biology private lessons teacher. And then I got a load of numbers. I called up one. Listen, I came second in the class. I got an 86 in this biology intermediate. And slowly start building. And 6 years later, I've got a degree. I've got a master's degree. And I've been working in the MFA for nearly 2 years now.
Very, very inspiring. Issa xi ħaġa li nixtieq insaqsiku li naħseb li hija importanti ħafna jiena tfal għandi jilagħbu l-isports u din hija xi ħaġa li nara ħafna. Inti taħdem maż-żgħażagħ. L-irwol tal-ġenituri. Jitfgħu pressure.
Ħafna.
Jiena.
Don't get me wrong, I've seen some fantastic parents.
Some, imma fil-fema tiegħi, ġifieri l-ignoranza tiegħi, ikun hemm ħafna jagħmlu ħafna pressure. Jiena rajt burnouts literally ta' atleti li kienu vera tajbin, imma tant kien ikun hemm pressure u ntħil. X'inhu r-rwol ta' ġenitur għal sportiv?
Guidance, compassion, love, and at these ages, they have to make their own journey, I mean, I see parents who really totally micromanage their kids, and at the end of the day, to be a top competitive athlete, they need to be able to make their own decisions, solve problems, make mistakes, and dig themselves out of a hole. I see that in today's youngsters, apart from the fact that they are very, 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 very much in a restrictive environment, a controlled environment. Like they wake up in the morning, they go to school. After school, they're straight into maybe the MFA or whatever kind of structured environment that they are. They've got assignments on the weekends. They've got very little time to interact with their friends. At what moment are we putting them out there and say, okay, you decide? That I truly believe.
Nara li hemm ħafna pressure, ġifieri jekk inti tixtieq illi it-tfal tiegħek jirnexxu, ġifieri ir-rwol tagħna hu li nissapportjawhom mhux nindaħlu isma' kif tlabtu. Hemm min-nies apposta jagħmluha din il-ħaġa bħal coaches,
we from the information that we have, like one of the most common questions after a football match is skurjajt, erbaħtu? Mela.
It takes a toll on the athlete, ġifieri mhux inbilli għajdu.
You're setting an expectation that
An added pressure.
I mean, my kids do sports. After, hey, did you have fun? the most important question, did you enjoy it? Did you have fun? What did you learn? Right? I didn't do so well today. Okay, so talk to me about it. You know? It's the same at school, I suppose.
Jiena għandi ħafna mistoqsijiet. Batlek il-mistoqsijiet, ftit imxejna maħa ma xtant kien interessanti dak li qed tgħidli, m'għandi l-aħħar mistoqsija li nixtieq insaqsilek ħalli nfehmuha wkoll. Inti semmejt ħafna dawn il-law of attraction, dawn huma kollha affarijiet li inti tista' tuża. Semmejt ukoll visualization.
Okay.
Meta tkun qed tivviżwalizza aħna nemmnu isma' qed nivviżwalizza li qed nagħmel workout vera tajjeb u li fil-competition qed nirbaħ. Għandna nivviżwalizzaw ukoll losses.
Totally. Totally. So one of the biggest things that, I mean, back in my day, that now we're at 15, 20 years ago, I used to hear things like, imagine yourself lifting a trophy in your hands. Okay, fantastic. That's beautiful. But what's it going to give me competitively? I need to be able to think with flexibility. If I am only thinking about the fantastic moments, then the moment we start a match or a competition and in the first 5 minutes, something's gone wrong. What happens then? How do I react to that? And that is why visualization is so important, so that you can also see how you're going to react in the difficult moments.
Fantastic, vera. Xtaqt nistaqsilek għax hija interessanti ħafna u visualization hija importanti li meta tkun qed titrejnja għal xi ħaġa, kemm jekk inti plejer individwali u kemm jekk inti ġotin. Vera, ħadd pjaċir b'dak li qed tinna u naf żgur li dawk li qed jarawna jew jismawna vera ħadu pjaċir jisimgħu bl-istorja tiegħek. Inti jħarsu ħafna lejk, tipo jammirawk ħafna nies tal-karriera u l-isba' ħaġa li għamilti li wara spiċċajt il-karriera sportiva tiegħek tħallt iktar ġodan l-isport u qed toffri servizz il dawk li għadhom tilgħinu. Hija xi ħaġa ta' ispirazzjoni kbira għalija bħala ġenitura li li nħobb l-isport imma vera proset. Grazzi ħafna tal-li kont magħna. Nixtieq ngħidilkom grazzi tal-li segwitu dan il-podcast. Dejjem il-messaġġ tiegħi huwa jekk taħsbu li hawn xi ħadd illi ħajjieħu xi valur minn dan it-tip ta' podcast nieħdu pjaċir li intom tqasmuh, segwu is-social media pages tagħna għal aktar informazzjoni u għal aktar mislin li ħajkunu fil-podcast tagħna Reboot. Grazzi ħafna u niltaqgħu f'podcast ieħor.